Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. Now today is Sunday and today is what we call Remembrance Day all across the world and in St. Kitts-NEVIS. Now we had a service today, a Remembrance Day service, and most people on the island, St. Kitts-NEVIS, don't even know what that is. So I'm gonna explain to you what Remembrance Day is. Most of you know that we had World War One and World War Two, where Germany was fighting the whole of Western Europe and the Soviet Union, which includes Russia, Ukraine, Poland, and many of the Eastern European countries. Now, the main forces that Germany was fighting was England, France, America, and Russia. And Germany had also conquered France during that time and occupied France for 4 years, and they were fighting with Russia, and they conquered the whole of Western Europe, Germany, and they were fighting with Russia. And then when America came into the war, that's when they defeated Germany. Now what's fascinating about it, because England was colonized most of the Caribbean islands and a lot of Africa, and France also did the same thing. Spain also did the same thing. So what England, France, and Spain did, they went into their colonies and they got people, black African people, our family members, to go and fight for them against Germany. Now during that time, our family members was not educated enough to know what was happening, but they were actually fighting for England, France, and Spain to remain colonized. You see how crazy that is? So, because what Germany plan was to do is to conquer all the European countries and then take over all of their colonies in the Caribbean and also in Africa. Because in the late 1800s, you know, they had the Berlin Conference where the European countries met and split up Africa, and that's when they colonized most of Africa. So what Hitler was trying to do, Adolf Hitler was trying to do, defeat the whole of Europe and then take over all their colonies in Africa and also in the Caribbean. So if Germany had won that war, St. Kitts-NEVIS and all of the Caribbean islands would be a German colony instead of a British colony. And maybe we would have had more development in the Caribbean because of that, because we know England didn't do anything here. They exploited these islands for hundreds of years during slavery. After slavery, they continued colonization, and then they left with nothing. They left after doing nothing here on this island, left the people in abject poverty. So what is fascinating to me is that every year we meet in what we call Remembrance Day ceremony, which was today, and every year we have that in the national squares, which were created by England to give a form of Remembrance Day. We also they had the same thing in London, England today, Remembrance Day. So they want to continue the idea of World War One and Two, and that they won. So they're getting our people to have this Remembrance Day ceremony. That is why nobody cares. The people don't understand it, and it doesn't make much sense to the people, and the people do not care about that. Every year when they have the ceremony, you hardly have anybody in there. You have little school children, handful of nurses, handful of police officers, a handful of soldiermen, and some government ministers laying wreaths, and that's all. Most people on Ireland don't even know they had some service in there today. And what I'm saying, Germany would have contributed more to the liberation of Africa and the Caribbean islands, because let me explain this. Because of World War One and World War Two, those wars bankrupt the British Empire so much, destroyed England. They lost so much money. They were broke after World War One and Two, so they were unable to maintain their colonies. So that is why they gave their colonies independence in the Caribbean, and that is why we are free. We are independent today. And that is the truth of the matter. Most people are not going to talk about it. And they got so weak in Africa, the Africans were able to rise up through force, military force, and defeat France and England in Africa and gain their independence in like the 50s and 60s. And then the Caribbean islands came shortly after in like the 70s and 80s. And that is why we are able to enjoy independence here in the Caribbean, because Germany fought with the Western powers, England and France, in Europe, scatter them, destroy their infrastructure, cause them to lose so much money that they had no other choice but to release their colonies in the Caribbean and give independence. And they tried to hold on to Africa, but they were not strong enough to stand up to the tremendous resistance that came from the Africans. So I think today, this day should be renamed. It should be renamed African Liberation Remembrance Ceremony. That is the real name of it, and it should be renamed as such. So Hitler, what the Western media would have done over the years, was to demonize Hitler and get everybody in the world to hate this Hitler. But Hitler, if you research the history of Hitler, Hitler knew about the real African history. He knew about the greatness of Africa, and that is why Hitler never invaded with the might of Germany during that time. Hitler never once invaded Africa. He was fighting the colonial masters, the England, the France, the Spain. Those are who he was fighting. He had defeated all of them already, but where Hitler made his mistake was that he was trying to fight America and Russia at the same time, while trying to maintain the European countries that he would have defeated already. Actually, he occupied France for 4 years. Germany occupied France for 4 years, and during that time, they went throughout Paris. They captured 2 million prisoners of war, and they put those people to work to build weapons for Germany, and they looted all of their artifacts and so that they stole from Africa. They looted all of that, and they actually had France like enslaved for 4 years. It was when America, which they call the Allied Forces, America and Russia, came together, and they came against Germany, and they defeated Germany, and that's when Germany lost control of Western Europe, France, Spain, Italy, all of those countries, and that's when they lost control of them, and France and Spain and Italy, and they got back their independence. But it's fascinating also because the same Russia that they're fighting today is the same Russia that helped America and Western Europe, England, which includes England and France, to defeat Germany. If it wasn't for Russia, Germany would have defeated America, England, and France easily. They had already defeated France, Spain, Italy, already occupied those countries. Germany had their military governments in France already, but they could not get to defeat England and Russia and America at the same time. They devastated England, but England had tremendous navy power which encircled the whole of England. And you know, England is like an island. It is separated from Europe. So England was, you had to get in by boat and in order to do a land invasion. So the Germany was unable to break that naval power from England. So they were unable to get troops inside of England. But they got troops inside of all of Germany, all of Western Europe, and conquered them easy. And also Russia, they got troops inside Russia, but the Russians were very tough, and you had the Americans and the British fighting at the same time, and Germany was defeated. So I am appealing to the government, the school teachers, the people in society and so, to let the people know the truth. Let the people know that Remembrance Day was our people, our black African Caribbean people, fighting for England so that England could remain rulers over all of the colonies and most of the world. And that is why people are not excited about this ceremony every year. And I'm calling for it to stop, or I'm calling for it to be renamed immediately. And also, we have to call the truth. It is because of Hitler, Adolf Hitler, and Germany, why the British Empire, the France Empire, and the Spain and so was able to had to release their colonies, because Hitler caused so much damage to them in battle in World War I and World War II that it devastated Western Europe, and they were unable, they were too weak and broke to hold on to their colonies. And it's fascinating to me as well, because we know that our people was colonized, enslaved first, brought from Africa, enslaved on this island for hundreds of years. After slavery, the colonization continued. And then after World War I and World War II broke out, our people who was enslaved and colonized for hundreds of years went to fight for the enslavers so that we could remain colonies. Does that make sense? It's crazy. And then after World War I and World War II, when Germany mashed up the whole of Western Europe, in the 50s and in the late 1945, when the World War II ended, up until the 70s, our people from the Caribbean went to England, what you call remember the Windrush generation. Our people went to England to help rebuild the same England that enslaved us for hundreds of years, colonized us for over 100 years after that. We still went to rebuild them, and up to now they can't give us anything, no reparations. They don't even recognize slavery happened. They say they're not even gonna talk about it anymore. And today we are here celebrating Remembrance Day yet again. So that is why these people don't have no respect for these Caribbean islands, because they look at us and they probably are laughing to themselves, like these people don't even understand history or what happened. Remembrance Day service was a war from America, Western Europe, Russia, and so. So all of the people who live here in St. Kitts-NEVIS, all of the European people, the whites, British and American people, they should have been at this Remembrance Day ceremony. But if you look at the video, you will see not one white person at this Remembrance Day ceremony. You have soldier people, policemen, school children, nurses there. We went to fight. It was their war that we're remembering, you know, not our war. World War I and II was a European war. It was their war. So they should be leading this remembrance ceremony. And after World War One and Two, our people didn't get compensated after that. Britain compensated, and the families for World War One and World War Two. They got our people to come up there to help rebuild the country, Britain, make it a superpower once again. And we are still waiting here for reparations. We are getting no help. They don't even know KITTS-NEVIS exists today. There's no signs of them around. They're not helping with any aid or anything like that. So it's fascinating to me, after we would have done so much work over the hundreds of years to build Europe. We built Europe. Our African ancestors built Europe and fought for them to maintain their freedom. And then after the war, we went back to help to rebuild their economies. Who is here helping us? There's nobody. Nobody here helping us. That is why I say Africa and the Caribbean have to reunite. We have to reunite, because we have each other. Is the only thing that we have. I'm gonna end this video now. Make sure to give a thumbs up, and subscribe to this video. Make sure to share it with all of your friends and family as well. And you know, I'll see you again in the next video. Bye bye for now. Much love. Like, share, subscribe. Bye bye for now. Much love. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye bye.